Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm just back here at City Cyclery today. I thought in this video I would talk about what I do on the road for my kitchen, basically how I eat on the road. Aside from obviously when you're riding and you're just stopping at truck stops and gas stations and that food, that's different. There's no meal prep required for that, but I'm talking about at the end of the day, beginning of the day, and obviously sometimes during the day you can stop to prepare a meal as well, but I'm just going to basically talk what I would do at camp for eating, cooking, and the equipment I'll use for that. So, alright, so let's start with the Jetboil Mini Mo. This one comes in at $150 US or $175 Canadian. The weight on this one is 0.415 kilograms. It holds 1 liter of water or liquid. It's 6,000 BTUs, and the boil time is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But that's going to depend on, the environmental conditions and all that stuff. As far as gas stoves go, I have never used anything better. I've used several other brands. I'm not going to say what the other brands were. They worked well, but this works better. That fast boil time really comes in handy if you wake up in the morning and it's really cold, or the other way around, you get into camp, you're cold, you want to get a nice hot coffee in you or something hot in you. It really comes in handy to have something that can boil in under 2 minutes in some circumstances. So definitely recommend the Jetboil Mini Mo. For what you pay for it, it is 100% worth it. Check out the Jetboil for sure. So let's talk about what pot I use. I use the Solo pot. It's the 900 version. This one comes in at, I believe, around $90, but there will be a link in the description. You can check that out. Really good pot, stainless steel, thick bottom, so it distributes the heat evenly. You don't get that center burn. Definitely worth the money. So as an alternative to the Jetboil, if you were, say, you ran out of fuel or you were out in the woods and you couldn't carry enough fuel with you, there's items called twig stoves. There's many varieties out there, all kinds. There's hundreds of them, probably more than I even know about. The variety I use is the Solo Twig Stove Lite. This one comes in at $112, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Use twigs, load them up, and then you light the fire from the top down. A top-down fire is the most efficient fire that you can have, and then once it gets going, you just keep feeding it with twigs to keep it going. It's a double-walled stainless steel base, so what it does is, as it's burning, it takes the hot smoke and recirculates it through the walls, and then that heat comes back out the top, so you get an even hotter fire. I haven't used it a lot. I've probably used it about a dozen times, and I'm very satisfied with this product. The nice thing about it is if you buy the Solo pot, I believe this is the 900 version, the Solo stove just nests right inside it. So you put your lid on, and now it's ready to go. You tuck it in the bag, and you're all set. So really nice, compact unit. And like I said, it's just good to have that backup. So if you are mainly using the gas, you run out, you have something to back you up. So again, links for this will be in the description below, but I definitely recommend if you want to check out the Solo stove. There's another one, I believe it's called the Bush Buddy. It's quite a bit more, and it's the exact same principle, but you can check that one out if you'd like to. So from there, I guess we'll talk about maybe something that's even more important than all the stuff that I've talked about is making coffee. We all know if you like coffee that there's nothing better than having a nice cup of coffee in the morning when you wake up, and the system I use is the GSI French press. It's very inexpensive. I believe this was $25. This brews about 2 cups of coffee, and I'm not going to get into too much detail on it. It's a French press. It's exactly what it sounds like. This one comes with a coffee mug that nests inside it, so you can get that. It is just plastic, the coffee mug, though, so keep that in mind if you're into fancy stuff. That's probably not going to do it for you. But yeah, GSI French press. I've had this for 3 years. Definitely recommend it. The thing I will say about it, though, is make sure you clean it really good. If you don't clean it after every use, it almost becomes impossible to plunge it. So check this out for sure. The next thing I'll talk about is when I do get a fire going, if I want to cook something on a grill, whether it be hot dogs, steak, whatever. The product I bought was called the Purcell Packers Grill. It comes in at, I believe, around $60, and it's super light. I didn't write down the dimensions, but it's made out of stainless steel again. Obviously you can see it's not very big, but it's made for 1 to 2 people. The nice thing about it is that it's small, lightweight, and you can just slide it in a pannier right inside everything, and it doesn't take up any room. It does come with a case. Obviously you don't want to be sticking a grill even after you clean it with charred fire stuff on it. It'll get on everything. So it does come with its own little grill. Yeah, and I think this literally weighs, oh geez, like 164 grams, I think is what it weighs. The dimensions on it is 43 centimeters. And actually thinking about it, I think this actually comes in at more closer to $150, which might sound crazy, but it is super good product. When you look at the grill itself, it's spot welded all the way along it, so you don't have to worry about the grill falling off or breaking loose after extended use. So I got this from a place called Canadian Outdoor Equipment. Check it out, link in the description as well. So next I'll talk about what I do to filter water. Most of the time you can get water sources depending on the type of tour you're doing. You can probably get water almost anywhere, stores, but when you are in a situation where you do need to filter water, there are so many options that if you go online, it may be overwhelming. I have not tried a lot, but for the last 2 years I have been using the Katadyn Be Free 1 liter version, and I have had no issues. So last year at the beginning of the season, I went up near Goderich to my friend Scott's place, and I stayed on his property just kind of testing out all my equipment. And I had no water source except for a creek that ran right beside where I was camping on his property. So for almost 25 days, I exclusively filtered water through this and drank it and had no issues. The nice thing about it is that the top part unscrews and you can flush it out and clean it really easily, because the big problem with water filters is they get clogged so easy. So I've had no issues with this whatsoever. The cap on the top broke off, but that's more because I was being a savage with it. The truth is with this, you don't have to filter it into anything. If you were out canoeing or you were out riding, you can literally fill it up and then just drink it right out of here. So definitely recommend this. The Katadyn 1 liter comes in at $60 Canadian. So definitely worth checking out. It comes in bigger sizes, and they also do make a gravity drip filter as well that I've heard really good things about. So Katadyn Be Free, check it out. So then obviously if you are out and you're camping and you're in a camping situation, there's going to be times where you need to use knives and stuff like that. I have several of them, but I generally carry 2 of them with me. My main knife, just for doing main things at camp, is the Mora knife, the Mora companion knife. So it's $32 Canadian, which is really nothing. Yeah, you can get fancier knives with wooden handle bushcraft knives, and I do want to get some in the future, but for a knife you don't have to worry about if you lose it. Pretty indestructible, the Mora companion knife. It's made out of carbon steel, and that's about really all you need to know about it. It's very indestructible, very easy to sharpen, so check out the Mora companion knife, link in the description as well. Another useful tool if you are in camp, again, like I said, and you are lighting a campfire to use your grill, I use as a saw, I use the Silky Comboy 240. The 240 is just indicating how many teeth it has on it. This saw, I cannot say enough good things about it, guys. $70, it only weighs 270 grams. The blades are replaceable. You can see how flexible they are. And that's not because they're cheap, it's because if it's rigid and you get a bad stroke when you're cutting the wood, it can snap the blade. These can still snap, but like I said, they are easily replaceable, so that's a really good thing. It's very light, like I already mentioned. I have nothing bad I can say about it so far. I haven't put it really through its paces, so I'll keep you up to date on how this works. Again though, one thing I should mention that a lot of people don't know is when they buy these saws, most saws like this only cut in one direction. This one happens to be a pull, so just keep that in mind. Find out if it's a push or pull or both. That really makes a lot of, if it's a pull, then you don't want to be putting pressure on the forward stroke. That dulls the blade a lot quicker. So anyways, Silky Saw, very good product for sure. And again, I got this from Canadian Outdoor Equipment. Really good company, check them out. And then just a knife I kind of keep in my bag for quick access when I'm riding in case I have to cut anything off or just need a quick blade. Is just this cheap Outbound knife I bought from Canadian Tire. It was literally $10, but for $10, really can't go wrong. It's a sharp little knife. Again, $10, you lose it or it breaks, who cares? Buy another one. So I got this at Canadian Tire, and it's an Outbound. I don't know if there'll be a link in the description for this because I don't think they carry it anymore. But just something to think about. A good, cheap, sharp knife, you lose it, don't have to worry about it. And then just to talk another thing, since we're talking about fires and cooking on a grill and stuff like that, usually 9 times out of 10 you're going to light your fire with a lighter or something like that, or matches. But in the off chance that you want to be Mr. Bushcrafty, or you're in a situation where your lighter gets wet or your matches get wet, I always try and carry around a little fire starting kit. And in here I just keep a pocket bellows. So in the kit I just keep a pocket bellows, which basically is like a telescopic antenna, and it's hollow, and it's just for blowing on the fire so you can get in underneath and start a fire. It might sound silly, but it actually works really well. I forget what this was. It probably was a little more expensive than it should be. I think it was actually like $19. But really came in handy a few times. Just make sure before you clean it up, you give it before you collapse it down, you give it a good clean, because when you're blowing through it, you get moisture, obviously. And then also inside here I keep a fire steel, and then a couple little tins that with a hole in this one. And the idea with this is you put cloth in it, you put it in the fire, it burns the cloth to a certain extent, and then if you are ever in a situation where you don't have a lighter or matches, you take the char cloth out, you use your steel, put a spark on it, and the char cloth will ignite faster. That's the idea behind it. I have tested the theory and it does work, so I'll do a little more experimenting with this here on certain trips and stuff, but definitely something bushcrafty you can think about. Well, hi guys, as you can see, I'm obviously in a different location. I forgot to talk about a piece of important equipment for some reason, even though I took pictures of it and had it right beside me, and that's the jet boil frying pan. This one is an 8.5-inch version. It does come in larger ones if you are traveling with more people than solo. It is a non-stick pan. It weighs 300 grams and it comes in at $60. I cannot say enough about this pan, guys. This is a top quality frying pan that you would see in any kitchen. The handle just folds down. So yeah, and it comes with its own spatula that just nests right inside the handle, as you'll see in this picture. Really good frying pan. I cannot say enough about it. It is non-stick, so you do have to take some special care with it, but that's why it comes with a plastic spatula and all that. If you're looking to do some real cooking when you're on the trail, I highly recommend the jet boil frying pan. So that's my road kitchen, guys. I didn't talk about what I eat, but I do have a video for that. You can check it out right here. As well, I didn't talk about the bags all this stuff goes in, but you can check out another video right here as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, or if you want to let us know what you guys use out on the road for cooking and eating and all that, I'd love to hear from you guys. So anyways, guys, if you've watched this video up to now and you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.